Information today has a slightly different approach. It's about leveling the playing field by saying your society is just as corrupt.
Keep those information away from the public. They censor the doctors and delete any information linked to this outbreak.
By covering up the outbreak, Beijing put the world in danger.
People continue to gather, and then the
people who are living in other countries abroad, that if you criticize the Chinese Communist Party, you will pay a price.
Chinese students can wind up in trouble if they criticize the regime, including policy regarding Hong Kong.
And then we saw this really escalate and take off in the last couple of years, particularly as, the protests in Hong Kong have reverberated around the world.
Elaine,
Politico had a write-up that accused China of a global disinformation campaign. And so the next day, we had emails from the EU delegation in Beijing saying that the Chinese Foreign Ministry made vague threats about the publication of such a report, boding very badly for EU-China relations.
It's a problem for the EU's top diplomat, Josep Borrell.
This basically led to a panic within the EEAS hierarchy, a stalling of the report. I wrote an email where I said that this amounted to appeasement of the Chinese Communist Party. Unfortunately, that whole thread of emails was subsequently leaked to the media, to the New York Times specifically.
Richter's criticism was clear. Self-censorship set a terrible precedent.
If successful, this engagement will help to shape a more stable and prosperous world.
Foreign Affairs Chief Borrell didn't criticize China, but instead the whistleblower who leaked the
contract was at the DSEI big arms fair in London, and they set up a sort of James Bond-style war room, and they used this to win.
The pandemic has given added urgency to these questions. Right-wing populists especially are adding fuel to the fire, like ex-Trump advisor Steve Bannon. A stark comparison. A study shows that 10 of the most popular fake news Facebook pages have been viewed 300 million times, as opposed to 70 million views for the WHO and other health organizations. Just 12 influencers.
The leaves from the stalk and
why are they a threat to us all? Opaque Worlds, this week on DW.
The nearby town of Lysychansk have been a target of heavy Russian shelling.
Soldiers in Lysychansk under fire from Russian artillery. Though they managed to evacuate a wounded civilian. Another barrage forces them to take cover again. Lysychansk is the twin city to Severodonetsk.
State have seen from other EU accession processes, it is a very long process, and this is something